Hello, Cancer. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Cancer is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It's totally free, doesn't cost you anything. All right? And if there is anything that you want me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. All right? Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Cancer, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And look at that Nine of Cups. Wow. That is happiness. That is the dream that keeps on dreaming, right? The happiness that keeps on, well, happening. Let's put this into some context. Oh, and on the bottom of the deck is the Ace of Cups. How wonderful is that? This is going to be a good one. And you've got the Empress. Yeah, this might be the best reading of this entire energetic cycle. Now, look at that. We also have the Princess of Pentacles. That's very nice. It is a full moon that's approaching, and this is very important for Cancer because, well, we are ruled, by the moon. So this is going to be a significant full moon for you. In some ways, even more so than for Gemini. And of course, if you are Cancer and Gemini, then it's going to be, I think, doubly powerful for you. But let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card, and then we could get into these energies. This is one random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. We're just going to put Mr. Ed right there on top. Now, we're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need. Okay? And if at any point during the reading you feel like you know what that card is, I want you to put your prediction in the comments below. Let's do it together. Let's make it a group exercise in intuition. All right, I think it'll be fun. All right, let's take a look around the room here. We've got Major, Major, and of course, the Fool. We've got the Lovers, the Empress, and the Fool. This is interesting. We've got Fire, definitely have our fire energies. We have a lot of water. I was going to say a little, but it's quite a bit. 3 water cards here, and then of course we have our earth energies, which this is, we have quite a few of these court cards too. So this is something that I think is going to affect everyone in your life, really. But I think this is really, this is just going to be this is just beautiful energy. There's really nothing negative that we really have to say, except maybe about the Seven of Cups, right? Maybe here in the general energy, this is saying that, hey, this full moon that's approaching, for some reason, I always tend to call it a full moon. And in a lot of the readings that I've been doing for the full moon, we've been getting the Fool card. So it's kind of funny that way. There is a lot of love and abundance coming into your life. And I know you probably hear this a lot, but I think this full moon is really, it's acting as a portal for you, and I think there's a lot that you have to let go of. Okay? I think this is kind of a full moon that says we're illuminating our internal environment, and we need to purge, right? We need to purge everything that is just not working for us, right? And I think a lot of this is, I think it's all encapsulated in this Seven of Cups here, which is your general energy, right? But let's start with the good stuff, right? Let's start with this Nine of Cups. This is you pursuing your happiness, pursuing your bliss, following your bliss, right? This is you leading a life that makes you happy. Happiness isn't something that we're out there looking for. We find it, we take it home, we're good to go. No, it's an ongoing process. We have to constantly be working at it. Right? It works if you work it. This is an ongoing day-to-day awareness that we have to make choices that lead to our greater good, not just in a selfish way for ourselves alone, but here we've got that Empress energy. This is something that has to be part of the ecosystem of life, right? The spiritual ecosystem. So the choices that we make, we have to ask ourselves, how is this affecting not only me? How is this affecting my physical life? Right? Because the Nine of Cups is the physical life, mental, emotional, and the psychic, spiritual, creative life, right? All levels of being here. So how are these decisions, how are my choices, how are my actions and behaviors affecting me? Positive, negative. How is it affecting my immediate surroundings, my pets, my plants, my people, right? Loved ones. And then let's expand this out. How is it affecting your neighborhood, your community, the town you live in, right? The world as a whole, the human race as a whole, the cosmos as a whole, right? Because everything ripples out. Every decision we make sends a ripple through the fabric of space-time, right? And everybody is affected by everything, right? We're all interconnected that way. So this is really, I think, a shifting of your focus in that we're being shown what it is we have to let go of, what it is that we have to purge. Okay, and then we're showing, I think, kind of a more productive way forward here, right? And I don't think this is, sometimes I try to pinpoint these readings. Well, this is mostly career, or this is mostly a romantic thing, or this is with your family, or this is with your spiritual or religious life, or your creative life. I think these readings, the more I do them, I've done thousands of them now for this channel, they don't seem that they can be pigeonholed into any particular realm of life. They seem to just be, life readings, right? So it's a little bit of romance, yeah, sure. It's a little bit of career, yeah, if that's your thing, if that's where where your energy is going. These are life readings, And what better way to show that than with the Nine of Cups and with the Empress? This is living a life. This is growing a life. This is building. We've got the builder here with the Prince of Pentacles in the future. So you are building a life for yourself. You are focused on how we can achieve more, but not just more in terms of quantity, but quality. How do we make the life that is richer, that is more vibrant, that is more free, that is more loving, that is more connected, right? That is what I think this full moon, and here's that Gemini card, here's the Lover's card. So, it's a Cancer reading, but we've got a strong Gemini presence. Don't really have any emissary from the moon here yet. Maybe the mystery card will be that moon. Because like I said, it seems that this full moon is affecting you almost more than it's going to be affecting Gemini people. And if you've got Gemini, maybe some of you have either Gemini in the midheaven, or it could be a Gemini rising, maybe in the midheaven for some of you. This is at the top of the path of the dove anyway. It could be that. But anyway, let's look at the recent past here with this Seven of Wands, because life hasn't always been easy for you. And it may not be easy right now. See, we've got the 7 and the 7, and these are both in the kind of starting points, right? It's not the central focus of the path of the dove, but it's kind of where everything started. Okay, this is behind us. This is a little bit of history, a little bit of the past. And then here with the 7 of Cups too, this is the starting point of what's coming next for you. This is the starting point of, your future. And we've got 7s in both places. 7s are challenging. 7s are saying that you have to love yourself enough to want more, to want to do better, right? To grow, to expand, to pursue your happy life, and pursue, now if this is a career thing, maybe this is you pursuing that kind of work that you feel so good about, that you really want to do. It may not be making you the most money, but it's what you really are passionate about. And with the Empress, sometimes we get a lot of like healthcare workers, first responder kind of people, volunteers, charity workers and things like this, people who really are focused on giving back. Not taking, but in giving back. And I think that by giving back, we're building a community that is there to support us as well, right? As part of that community. But take it how it resonates, obviously. back to the Seven of Wands here. Life was not easy. There's been challenges, okay? And I think that you've overcome a lot in your life. I'm getting the feeling that there was kind of a major, or what seemed like a major illness in your past. I don't know, maybe when you were a child or maybe like a young adult. If there was a major illness, and I kind of think that everybody was worried that you weren't going to make it, but you overcame that, right? You're here right now. And I'm very thankful that you are. So I feel as if you know about challenges. You know about how to kind of triumph over adversity, over challenges. And that's what the sevens are really about. It's about loving yourself enough to not give up, even when it seems like the odds are stacked against you. Yeah. And this is the motivation that we need, especially when we take the Seven of Cups, because they're both sevens. And both of them together give me that impression of some sort of illness. It could be maybe an injury here or an illness with this one. I don't know, maybe if it's both at the same time, if that's possible, an injury and an illness. But the sevens both are talking about overcoming adversity, okay, overcoming challenges. And I feel like that's kind of the same energy that that's being brought into your awareness now with this full moon. The full moon is there to illumine your interior world, to show you the interior landscape, right, which happens to be exactly what the Princess of Pentacles signifies, right? The landscape. Everything that's out there in the natural world, the untouched natural environment, which is down here underneath the surface. So it's your interior landscape. And this is what in the East would be called the uncarved block, right? It's uncultivated environment. It's natural. It's unconscious. It's just a flow. It's not manipulated, right? It's not cultivated. It's not trimmed back, right? It's not refined, so to speak. It's raw. It's natural, right? And this, I think, is very important because what we see contrasting that is the Gemini card, the Lover's card. This is cultivated. This is consciousness, unconscious, conscious, raw and uncut, the uncarved block, right? Just wild nature. And this is refinement. This is culture. This is manner. This is ceremony and ritual. And there's a contrast between the two, right? And I think what this full moon is doing for you, it's putting you in touch with this natural environment inside yourself, right? Beneath all of our buffers and filters and self-censoring, right? Who are you in that raw, uncarved, natural, unrefined state, right? It's kind of nature versus nurture in some ways as well. It's untamed, right? It's unexplored, it's uncultivated. It's the raw material of your soul, of your spirit, of your imagination, right? So I think that really is a big part of this portal, this full moon portal, which feels to me like this is a significant one. Okay, I don't know why it's so significant. I'm not that much of an astrologer. But through these readings that I've been doing, it seems like it's a very potent period of time. So this is going to unleash a lot of creativity in you, right? You're gonna be able to tap into a lot of this kind of unrefined creative energy, just images and even desires, right? And motivations and impulses. You're gonna have a lot of ideas here, and I think that this is really, really good for you to focus on. At the same time, we need to focus on a little bit of the refinement, right? A little bit of the lover's energy. Because with the lover's energy, it is like the sculptor who's carving the stone or carving the clay or carving the marble or whatever medium sculptors use. It's trimming off what we don't need in order to reveal what is there. in order to reveal what we've envisioned. So we take the uncarved block, we get in touch with that, we take the chunk of wood, and we whittle away at it until we reveal exactly what we've singled out in our imagination that we want to create. So a lot of the stuff that we're carving off, the excess wood, the wood shavings, is some of the Seven of Cups stuff, and it's mostly an emotional stuff for you. Okay. And I really like that we've got the Prince of Pentacles here in the future, because this is the one doing the work. Taking the raw materials and kind of creating our vision. This is, again, the Lover's card now. The Lover's card doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It could be. It could be really that we're cultivating a relationship with someone, right? That we have to get in touch with our own internal kind of raw materials to see what we're about, to see what we want, right? To refine ourselves, refine our personality, we have to know everything that's there, And in some ways, we have to leave it there. We don't want it. In some ways, we don't want to touch it. We don't want to tamper with nature. This is an explorer that's out in the wild, and the first rule is to not interfere, to leave no trace that we'd ever been there. We want to leave it as a wild, untamed, unrefined, not trimmed back, unconscious environment. But from that unconscious, we can pull out, and that's when we get to the Ace of Wands too. We can pull out that one idea to focus on, that one thing that we're going to create, that we're going to carve. And it could be, the cultivating of a relationship, could be a relationship with a lover, could be a relationship with your family, a friend, could be a relationship with yourself, God, Goddess, deity. But I kind of feel like we are going to discover something that we wish to cultivate. And of course, this is the cultivation. This is kind of the in-between state, right, of the wild unconscious and the cultivated kind of conscious focus. And I don't know what this is for you. Again, this could be living that life, living that dream life, working on following your dream life. But we have to know what that is. Yeah, we have to know what that is. And it is this. And I don't know what this means for you. I think for some of you, yes, this is kind of giving back. This is a way to nurture and take care. In some ways, this is nature, right? And nature, as this kind of mother, is taking care of the kind of uncarved, unconscious within us, right? And so this is kind of a rebirth experience in a way too. Because I think out of this relationship, out of this kind of natural state, you're finding something to commit to. And now that Lover's card, like I said, is the commitment. And to commit to something means that we have to trim off all of the excess to reveal that kind of masterpiece underneath. And that's going to take us to the path of the serpent. And as we move over here, I'd like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Doesn't cost you anything, totally free. All right. And leave some comments for me. I really do enjoy reading all of your comments. Okay, so the Prince of Pentacles is what takes us over to the path of the serpent, because this is the work. This is you out here doing it. Learning the new skills, doing the work, processing the emotions, processing the raw material, right? And that's just, if we think about it in a kind of like a lumber mill or something, this is the and I hate that this is a thing, but we take this, let's say it's a renewable resource, right? And we have to process it in order to kind of, to reveal the finished product that then can be the conscious focus, right? So this is the processing, right? This is the builder. This is the one that's building up is also a process that involves tearing down, right? Maybe there are old structures that we have to clear away first. As we are building something, each component that we have has to be refined in its own way. It has to be milled, it has to be machined, right? It has to have a certain, it has to be designed to certain specifications, it has to be manufactured, and then we put everything together, right? Taking all of these individual pieces and putting them together, each of those pieces had its own process, right? And on and on and on, back to the original kind of unmanifested, untouched, untamed, wild, unconscious space, the raw materials. So in the process of building up this best life, the process of following this bliss and this happiness that we see, we've got to get rid of the bad material, for one. We've got to process through the bad material. You've got to QA it, basically, right? And if it's not working for you, if it's not what you need, we've got to get rid of it, recycle it, whatever you do with stuff like that. This is a lot of emotional stuff that you're hanging on to. And the full moon, I think, is the perfect time for you to not only tap into this kind of creativity, the path of the dove stuff, but it's also a good time to see what that moonlight is shining down on. See what it's revealing about yourself that needs to go, that we need to let go of. We need to work through these emotions, okay? And I'm getting a really strong feeling. This is a card with some very strong energy. Okay, so there is something that you need to let go of, and I'm really starting to feel this with this water energy. This is not as powerful as this is not as powerful as the Nine of Cups, but this is significant. Okay, and it does connect with the Seven of Wands back here. It's something that you perhaps have already triumphed over in some ways, but it's still there and it's still affecting you. Okay? I don't want to talk about this too much. It's something very, very significant for you. And I think that's what needs to be processed. Okay. Excuse me. Let's go to the Ace of Wands here next. This is in the position of the environment. This is that kind of one passion. This is the fire. This is what really just opens your eyes, right? Gives you this passion, this intensity, this ambition. And it's a new start. It's a new creative start. In all of this natural world, this internal, this unconscious, this imagination, you're finding the fire, right? And this is the fire that you're bringing back and that we are going to refine. And basically, this is going to expand into, the rest of it, right? This is the beginning of that one commitment, that thing that you discover that you need to focus on, right? After we've let go of a lot of this, right? What will be revealed underneath that is the beginning of this almost a new life path. Okay, it's almost like we're beginning again and we're taking on this kind of new. I feel like your demeanor is going to change. Your personality is even shifting a little bit with this. I feel like now you're really wanting to be kind of in the front of things a little bit. Let's look at how the rest of the cards go, because we do have this Fool energy for the full moon. And this is in the difficult position here, because the Fool is always like there's always two sides of it, right? Light and shadow. We like the Fool energy. It's free. You've let go of all this, right? This is as natural as and untamed, as unrefined. This is the uncarved block too, just as much as this is. Right? But this is more unmanifest. This is more perhaps talking about the spiritual realm, right? Transcending the personal kind of unconscious, subconscious, the history, especially this, okay? Because we're never fully getting rid of anything. That's the point here, is that it's not something that we can just discard and forget about. as soon as we forget about it, it's going to jump back up and disturb our flow, right? So it's not about getting rid of something or forgetting about anything. It's just about recycling that energy. We have to work through those emotions, right? Let's feel it. Let's cry. Let's wail. Let's howl at the moon. And let's get that out, right? Because then that energy is going to be freed up, and it really is going to be a renewal of energy, a renewal of this kind of creative spirit in you. And then the difficult thing is the Fool, because I think it is difficult for you to let go. You might be the type of person that is kind of self-conscious on the dance floor, if you know what I mean, right? We want to let loose. We want to be free. We want to just not care, but then we still kind of feel like I'm here, I'm in a body, people are looking at me, you know. So there's this idea of letting go, of being free. And the reason this is in the position of what you don't want, or in the difficult position, because nobody really wants to look like a fool, right? You're out here on the dance floor, and I use this analogy because, I mean, if I ever was on a dance floor, that'd be me. I would feel like a fool. I would probably look like a fool. I dance with my daughter, and I'm sure I look like a fool, but I don't care, right? And that's the Fool. The Fool doesn't care. We have to be careful with the Fool, because this will lead us to be quite inconsiderate to other people, because we don't care, right? We don't care how we look. We don't care how we're perceived by others. We don't care how we're affecting others. The Fool is very potent energy, but we need to be careful with that, okay? Because that's why we need this balance. We need to have this balance between uncultivated nature, unrefined, uncarved block, and the refinement, the nurture, the consciousness, and the cultivation of things, right? Because the Fool, again, is a very just wild child, carefree spirit, you know, which can be inconsiderate towards others, of course, especially when lit up by this fire energy, by this new sense of ambition, this new sense of confidence and creativity. Well, that Fool could really start causing some trouble. So we need to have a freedom from self-consciousness, but also we need to be self-aware, right? And that's the kind of difficult part of the Fool here. What I really like at the end, though, is this Prince of Cups. We've got the builder of the physical realm. We've got the builder of the emotional realm. And these two together are creating a life that is not only very practical and productive, and you're getting things done, you're aware of your behavior, you're doing things in the physical world that have intention, that have heart and spirit, and that are, but also in the emotional realm. Now you're processing the emotions, right? We're processing the kind of raw material, and with the earth energy, I'm thinking of that raw material being not physical raw material, but the imagination, the unconscious raw material, right? All of your dreams and visions and fantasies, and just whatever you can imagine with that imagination, right? That's the physical world. And to me, there's not much of a difference between the physical realm and, let's say, that astral realm of imagination, right? Facts in one place, experiences in one place are just as real as in the other place, right? We could make that argument. I don't want to get into it. But that's what I mean by raw material, and more of the astral world. But then we have the raw material in the emotional world, okay? So we're processing all of that emotion just as we are processing what really is the fire energy, right? The kind of spiritual sight, the imagination, that creative consciousness. So we have a really wonderful opportunity right now to make tremendous progress on your life path. And again, this is a life reading. So I don't know if this is primarily a career where you're kind of, you're trying to move into a career that you really feel that passion for, or if there's something else, maybe a relationship, maybe it is just about, processing a lot of this internal stuff to be in a better position to enjoy your life. Yeah. Let's look at the mystery card now. This is this Seven of Cups is making me a little emotional. I think probably because I'm also a Cancer, and this is resonating with me. So when I get this Seven of Cups, it really, and of course, I'm affected by this full moon too. I'm affected by the full moon as well. And this is a difficult one. This is a difficult one. But let's think about this mystery card. What do you think it's going to be? I said before that maybe we'll get the moon. We have the Gemini. This is a Cancer reading. Maybe we'll get the moon card. Or we'll get the High Priestess, which would be the full moon, right? It would fit. I don't know if it's likely, but it would fit. Otherwise, what we don't have is a lot of air energy other than the Fool and the Lover's card to be that air energy. But we don't see a lot of communication or a lot of discord. We don't see a lot of like arguing or anything like that. So this to me is just a very internal, emotional, psychic, spiritual enlightenment for you, right? This full moon, I feel, is like a portal into that world for you, right? Where you can discover your true will. You can discover what it is that you want to do with your life. Yeah. I'm just going to say High Priestess. Look at that, High Priestess. This is good. This is good because this card is the full moon. And the moon rules the sign of Cancer. Right? So this is the magic time for us. This is the time where we can, if we close our eyes and turn our attention inward and use that full moon light, we can see parts of ourselves that we've never seen before. And we'll see it with such a, kind of a crystal clarity that we can see what we want. We can have that vision of what we want, and we can know what things we have to process, and we know what feelings we've got to feel, and get them out, get that energy recycled. This is our fate. This is our destiny. This couldn't have been any better. I might be done after this one. This is going to be life-changing for you. This is going to be transcendental. This is going to be very illuminating for you. So prepare yourself for that full moon. It's coming in it's on Monday. And it is in Gemini, so it's, the Gemini energy is going to be very important for you, especially those of you that have Gemini at the midheaven. Okay. Very intense. We're going to try to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, click on the link in the corner. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. Right? It doesn't cost you anything. It's totally free. Unless I quit after this one, I won't know until tomorrow, I guess, when I wake up tomorrow. But I am usually here every day, 6 to 8 a.m. Chicago time. Cancer readings specifically are Tuesdays and Saturdays. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you, and I love you. And we're all in this together.